Welcome to this edition of the Mortgage Cat video blog. My name's Pat Palmer and I'm a licensed mortgage agent with Zoom Mortgage, and I'm joined here today by Phil Kriszenfeld from the Transitions Group. Welcome, Phil.
Thanks, Pat.
I invited Phil here today because he has such a unique value proposition. His company works with small to medium-sized businesses and does mediation, and I thought there'd be real value in sort of helping people understand what he does and how he helps people. Phil, why don't you tell us a little bit more about the Transitions Group?
The Transitions Group is my passion, and it's a passion to help family businesses and partnerships operate so much better in their business and in their family life. I don't get involved in the operation and widget making of a business, but it's really all about the communication,
Right.
how we work together, mutual respect, making sure voices are heard, and creating a collaborative environment which always reduces the levels of conflict. And when conflict happens, I love helping my clients learn to manage it, understand it, solve it, but most importantly to prevent it.
And I think the idea here is that you're trying to remove some of the emotion out of the equation and be the, for lack of a better term, the voice of reason with your clients so that they can progress forward.
Yeah, and it's all about the soft skills. You know, I work with a lot of the other professionals, accountants, lawyers, wealth managers, and they're the technicians
Right.
for the most part.
Yeah.
But their job is easier when there's a collaborative discussion that results in a plan to have made legal, effectively communicated to the professionals that work for the family.
Sure, and I'm sure it's more than just business related things that you work on, like if there's property involved, that kind of thing. How do you help people through that?
Well, and that's great that you point out, because I include the family's entire holdings as the family business,
Okay.
not just the supposed widget making operation,
Sure.
but businesses that have been, especially second and third generations. There's real estate holdings. Perhaps there's a second home, a cottage,
Right.
which is always a challenge to manage going forward, especially in estate planning. Having the discussions around that avoid the conflict that comes later.
Wow. That's awesome, because I think we can all relate that sometimes family circumstances can get a little emotional. We don't always agree, and having somebody there to sort of piece things together and get us thinking and getting us on the same page is important. But before we leave, Phil, I wanted to touch on, I know you do a lot of speaking engagements. Why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about that?
I love speaking to professional organizations, lawyers, accountants, wealth managers, and also industry associations where there's a whole bunch of smaller members
Right.
that are family businesses. Providing that education is really one of my passions, and I love those opportunities.
So I'm sure there's some viewers out there that are thinking right now, I gotta book some time with Phil. How do they go about getting a hold of you?
Easiest way is my website, which is transitionsgroup.ca, and it has all my contact information. Even if there's a small little issue and you want to ask a question, I'm happy to help.
Well, Phil, thank you for joining us here today. And this is another edition of the Mortgage Cat video blog, and hope you'll watch our next video.